Puddles 4, Return of the Puddles. Following on from some of the smaller puddles, which we did on the 1 to 35 scale model so you could see them, I'm going to show you how you do them in a smaller scale. And actually, N scale's perfect for showing some of the easier techniques for puddles. This week, we're not going to use any new products. We're just redoing the same sort of thing, but in a much smaller scale. So you'll need grout, white glue, IPA, that's IPA mixed with water to spray on to let the glue run. You'll also need gloss varnish, gloss medium, and just a little bit of satin varnish to go around the edge. Yep, it's more grout. This time, I only want the grout to fall in the areas I'm going to do puddles. N scale, I've scattered it in a lot of places, so I'm just going to wipe off what I don't need before it gets glued. This side's going to be track, so we'll deal with that later. There we go. Now, puddles. These are going to be really small, and you've got to be careful. The person in N scale is that big. You really, really, really don't want your puddles to be deeper than your people. They just don't happen in real life. So what are we going to do? Well, I'm actually going to put a couple of footprints in here just to show the size that they are. Those are the kind of size of puddles you might want to do. But actually, in N scale, it's often just about the colouring as much as about the scenery base itself. So I'm just going to wet this up, do a couple of small hollows, which there are naturally anyway, and just see how it goes when we come to putting the next coat on. This is my usual mix of IPA, then dripping glue. Once that had dried, I brushed on some dried grout, much like on the 1 to 35 diorama, so I could show off the difference between light and dark areas of damp. So over here I'm going to do, assuming this is rained, I'm going to do one in this sort of dip area. It's going to be a very shallow, very wide puddle, and I'm just going to do exactly what I did on the 1 to 35. I'm just going to tease this round to the lower sections. And before you think this looks a bit weird, I am actually going to put quite a lot of vegetation hiding some of these puddles. So this section will have grass and other things on it as well, maybe brambles. So I put the feet in over here, I don't know if you remember that. So is just put a drip of my gloss varnish out, and I'm just going to put a drip on the end into that hole. It will come off eventually, and we're not looking at a large amount. So again, in this hole, these are where I put the feet in to show you how big a person's foot is. So let's just see if we can get that to pop off. In areas where I wanted more depth, I added some gloss medium with a brush. So I'm not going to brush it right to the edges because puddles are often shallower at the edge and deeper in the middle. Now you can see the problem here is, how do you get that to go smooth? But anyway, a little bit more depth on that one. It's actually easier on the ones that are deeper like this because you can put a little dollop in. Okay, I'm going to leave that to dry and need to go wait till it's totally clear. Next I added a layer of satin varnish around the outside to represent the damp patches. And we've got a gloss medium around the edge in the middle, so I'm just going to go round the edge to try and make this a little bit more tied into this rest of this landscape, which doesn't quite feel yet. It's a little hollow, so we'll just see if we can do that. I'm going to leave this one as it is because not everything needs to tie in. So we've got to the end of our N scale puddles. Here's the final result. You can see it looks very much like a puddle. What more do you want from your puddles? And here we have the final result for the N-scale puddles. A real sense of depth and sitting into the scenery. All it needs now is the grass. Last week on puddles, hooray! I mean, there's only so many weeks you can look at puddles, right? 4 weeks! 4 weeks! 4! Gosh, how bored are you? Anyway, I'm looking at my puddle, which is here. Very nice puddle. I do like it. Subtle, understated. You know, needs a bit of grass. I'm sure that's coming. She said it's coming. She said the grass is coming soon. Later in the series. Well, at least she's going to do grass. Well, there we go. Well, yeah. The others are out exploring. You won't catch me going up that radiator. They're mad. Still, they're enjoying themselves. I wouldn't let them around my house. Oh, no way. Have you seen where they've been and what they're looking through? Well, they've got plenty of ideas of where they're going next. Now, at least they're on the ground floor at the moment. The stairs are just too much, too far up. But you never know, they might get up there soon. Still, I like my N-scale diorama, and that's what counts. Now, if you just hurry up and do the river and the culverts and the stream and the banks and the track, I'd be happy. But she's not doing that next week. No, she's doing something completely different. She's not even doing N-scale. Well, we'll all have to wait and see what happens on mine next. Anyway, see you soon. Bye. Well, that's the last of our puddles. I hope you're not too upset. Next week, pond. Something slightly larger than a puddle. Similar, but larger. If you're enjoying the course, then please subscribe to me on YouTube or on my website, kathymillett.co.uk. Alternatively, like me on Facebook, Kathy Millett Modelling. See you next week.